Hello, and welcome to my interpersonal communication project. My name is Crystal Powell, and I am 25 years old. Let's turn to the next slide, please. I am first and foremost a Christian, a wife of 2 years to the man of my dreams, and a mother to a beautiful 8-year-old little girl. Each role has helped make and mold me into the person I am today. Next slide, please. I was born and raised in Ahoskie, North Carolina. I grew up in a household with my mom, dad, and one younger sister. I was taught at an early age the importance of responsibility. I found myself throughout my younger years doing and learning a lot on my own. While most children were out playing and enjoying life, I often found myself wondering and sometimes worrying about how my parents were going to make ends meet. I guess you could say I grew up fast. However, this enabled me at an early age to possess interpersonal communication skills. As a young child, seeing the struggle that my parents made to provide for our family allowed me to want to get a job to help them out. At the age of 14, I received my first job. I was an assistant aerobics instructor for the church I was attending. This job allowed me the opportunity to provide hands-on communication and demonstration with the elder adults at my church. That's when I realized that I enjoy interacting with people. From that point on, my career goals only grew stronger from there. I am currently a patient scheduling coordinator at an outpatient clinic. I come in contact with so many different people from many different backgrounds and illnesses. It's my passion to be the highlight of someone's day through a smile, words of encouragement, or just simply listening to what a person has gone through on that particular day. As we move on to the next slide, listed is my presentation outline. The topics we will cover are the introduction, my overarching goal, behavioral blend, defining potential barriers, internal and external noise pollutions, as well as my action plan. Next slide, please. What is interpersonal communication? According to Stewart, the term interpersonal communication labels the kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in the ways that maximize the presence of the person. Interpersonal communication can also be appropriate, effective, or good in some situations and bad in others. Next slide, please. Now we're going to discuss the personal. The personal consists of 5 qualities: uniqueness, which is non-interchangeable; unmeasurable, even though feelings are always present, some communication acknowledges them and some communication doesn't; responsiveness, humans are thoroughly and uniquely responsive beings; reflectiveness, not only are humans aware of what's around us, but also that we can be aware of our awareness; and addressability is what makes the difference between talking to and talking with. Next slide. Now we're going to talk about my overarching goals. First and foremost, I want to be able to listen to others without being judgmental to their actions, thoughts, and behaviors. I want others to be able to feel that they can freely express themselves to me. In the same instance, they are confident in knowing that they are being listened to. That's extremely important to me. Next, I wish to effectively communicate only when the time is appropriate to others. And lastly, I would like for others to see these positive qualities in me and in exchange want the same qualities that I possess. Next slide, please. Now let's discuss my behavior blend. Throughout this course, we were given a personality type test. And through that, I learned that my DISC personality type and blend is a CS. DISC is an acronym that stands for different things, different words, different meanings. Let's start off with the D. The D stands for active task oriented. And these type of behaviors can be described as dominating, directing, or demanding. The I is the active people oriented. The I can be described as inspiring, influencing, and interacting. The S is a passive people oriented, and it can be described as steady, stable, and shy. And the C is for passive task oriented, and it can be described as cautious, compliant, and careful. Next slide, please. My behavioral blend quiz allowed me to see what was expected from me and what was me. And these are I tend to always be right. I like to do one thing at a time and do it right the first time. I'm steady and stable, reserved and cautious, consistent and careful. I do not like speaking to large crowds, and motivated by opportunities to serve others. Next slide, please. My requirements for controlling my CS behavior blend is to think more positively, guard against the fear of failure, focus on the possible, be cheerful. When everything is going wrong, be encouraged, and take more risk and be confident. Next slide, please. Now, these are potential barriers. Openness with individuals or self-disclosure, according to Stewart. Fear of public speaking and listening. These are solutions to the barriers that I have listed in the previous slide. In order to be open with other people, I must be aware of who I am, accept myself, and take the risk of trusting the other person to be accepting of me, according to Stewart. Fear of public speaking can be solved by simply having confidence in myself. Listening can be solved by allowing the same respect for someone else during a conversation that I would expect in return. The illusion that we can speak to others without being able to listen is perhaps one that we all share, according to Furman. Next slide, please. Now let's discuss noise pollution. Internal, which is your own personal state of mind and private thoughts, versus external, which is what's outwardly exposed through sound or distraction. Next slide, please. Now, with these noise pollutions, you have internal noise, which is biased listening, lethargic listening, and emotional listening. Solutions to these are: don't allow words to provoke your feelings or ideas about different people. Actively listen by taking notes. Set your feelings and focus on the issue. And for external noise, you have interruptions or phone calls, speaker talking too fast, views of outside scenery. In order to solve these solutions to the problem, you should turn off your phone and get in a quiet area. Ask speaker for clarity and understanding, or relocate to a place with no distractions. Next slide, please. Now, my action plan. Throughout this course, I have created a plan, and my desires for this plan are to think more positively, work on being a better listener. I wish to break the guard that I have against the fear of failure. I plan to focus on the possible. I want to be more cheerful. When everything is going wrong, I want to be the one who is well encouraged and encouraging others. And most of all, I want to gain confidence within myself. Next slide, please. This course has truly taught me a lot in relation to getting to know myself and the areas that I fall short in. I plan to do all that I can to turn away from the unjust ways that I have and focus on becoming the ultimate Christian that I desire to be. Quite often, it's easy for us to point fingers at the faults of others, but very rarely do we see the errors that we make. This course has revealed issues within myself that I choose to overlook. I thank God for conviction, correction, and change. Romans 12:1-2 says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. Thank you.